The biggest mystery that haunts Power Rangers fans till this day is what happened to the Zeo Crystal and the Zeo Powers. Well, let's talk about it. Yo, what's up everybody, it's Este here and welcome back to the video and welcome back to another episode of Power Rangers Unsolved, where I go through the deep and dark mystery scene in the Power Rangers franchise. If you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, I recommend go checking out the playlist icon on your screen and link in the description down below. If this is your first time watching, hey, what's up, I'm Este, nice to meet you. Be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any single one of these videos. And for 1,500 likes, I'll do more videos just like this one, so I really hope you enjoy it. Leave a like because, you know, I love you, and I hope you love me too, even if it's a little bit. So let's get right into it. The Zeo Powers, the Zeo Crystal, the main power source for our team seen in Power Rangers Zeo. That was an amazing season, actually one of the best of all time, but when it came to transitioning to the next season, Power Rangers Turbo, there was a little bit of trouble. That turned out to be bigger trouble. If you're a Power Rangers fan, you know about Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Probably one of the worst Power Rangers movies ever, even though there was like only 3, so I guess that's not saying a lot. In this movie, we see our team from Power Rangers Zeo fight a new villain called Divatox, and in order to defeat Divatox, they have to get new powers, and these new powers are cars and turbo powers. They shift into turbo with a key and a gear shift on their wrist, and they become a new team of Rangers, and even a little kid joins the team as well as the first ever Kid Ranger. It was definitely a weird movie, weird plot. It was weird all around, really. There was like this little animatronic thing monster that they had to save. I don't want to talk about it, it's weird. But the thing about this movie is that it left Power Ranger fans kind of confused because we never really saw the Zeo Powers get destroyed in the movie, or really a necessary reason to change from these Zeo Powers to these brand new Turbo Powers, other than, you know, new season, new team, new Zords, new toys, etc. And Power Ranger fans are still confused and questioning to this day. Literally, we see the Zeo Powers pop up again and again in other seasons of Power Rangers, so what made Tommy and his team want to change to these new powers? Well, I don't know if you know this, but Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, was supposed to be a much longer movie that was mostly going to explain how the Zeo Powers got destroyed, or necessarily the reason they need to be switched out, along with some other random scenes like Tommy fighting an alligator, which I would have loved to see. One of these deleted scenes, scrap scenes, was a scene featuring Tanya and Adam. There was going to be a scene in the Turbo movie where both Adam and Tanya go on a mission to save Jason and Kimberly, but ended up destroying their Zeo Powers in the process. With both of them being under the ocean, Adam would actually leave the water with a shredded suit. And if that scene were actually included in the movie, it would have been the second appearance of the Turbo Rangers in this film, because frankly, we only had one. And this first and only appearance in the actual movie was when Kat would barely morph into Zeo Ranger 1 Pink before landing in the water and her morph failing. Now, I don't know why, like, she was morphing up to save herself from the fall because she literally fell off a cliff. She morphed up and she basically demorphed. And I don't want to believe the Zeo Crystal is not waterproof, right? Is that? Don't tell me that's what it is. Now, a video by Pomelo Retro actually talked about the same thing about these Zeo Powers. He actually had the chance to talk to some of the members from the Turbo movie, like the actors who played Kat, Tanya, as well as Tommy, and even Billy, to try to find an answer to where these Zeo Powers got. Like, why did they destroyed? Why did we switch? And frankly, the cast members had no clue, just like us. However, Catherine Sutherland mentioned the cliff scene too, and how supposedly Zeo Powers don't work underwater, and it would shut off the crystal completely. Frankly, I don't want to believe that, you know? I don't want to believe that water would destroy one of the most amazing, powerful objects in the world. What would be more believable is that the water would short circuit the Zeonizers. That would make a lot more sense because, you know, technology and water, they don't mix. So what was the resolution? Car powers. Literally car Zords that would go over the water. Nice job, Zordon. You did great. Pomelo Retro actually also talked to David Yost, the guy who played Billy in Power Rangers, asking if his character was the one who made the Turbo Powers. And he would respond that he didn't quite know either. His character, Billy, was leaving the show at that point and was originally going to be in the Turbo movie, and there wasn't really a way to fit Billy back in. So there's really no in-universe explanation on who created his powers, if he was Zordon or Billy or whoever. Even Ninjor, we don't know. But the reality of the fact is the Zeo Crystals still do exist, and I believe still work to this day. By 2018, Tommy had incorporated Zeo's subcrystal into his master morpher, allowing him to morph into the red Zeo Ranger whenever he wants. But the question I'm really thinking about is, why were these scenes cut from the Turbo movie? Apparently this was gonna be like a long 3-hour extravaganza movie. I see why. No one wants to sit down and watch a 3-hour Power Rangers movie. I was watching that over 2-hour 2017 movie, and that was long. This was literally a big deal. This wasn't no side mission. It was a big, huge thing for the Power Rangers history that just got left unexplained. It was said in the show that the Zeo Crystal would get more powerful over time, that which in theory would make the Zeo Rangers more powerful with each day. But there's one thing you gotta remember: Jason and his Gold Ranger powers. In the show, Jason had to give up his Gold Ranger suit because he couldn't match Triforian Energy, the original holders of the Zeo Powers. So what if the Zeo Crystal gets more powerful with each day? The humans that actually wear the Zeo suits slowly die and lose their energy force. It makes sense if you think about it. This crystal, this mystical being, gains power with each day, but the humans, they slowly lose power because, you know, we age and we slowly pass away. This could be why they only used the Zeo Powers a few times after that. And knowing how Divatox was honestly less of a threat than, let's say, the Machine Empire, which was literally a machine empire, an empire of machines, of robots, and Divatox just had a little submarine ship in the ocean. You know, that's not a threat. An empire, that's a threat. So that begs the question: why use this ever-growing power source when you can use just a weaker, easier power source? That is, in my opinion, the Turbo Powers, because they are much weaker and probably worse than the Zeo Powers, which are stronger than before. Literally, the theme song said it. If that's the case though, why didn't they just go back to getting their Zeo Powers? Well, since the team switch happened in Turbo, this new team didn't connect to the Zeo Crystal like the OG team. If you remember in Mighty Morphin, they had that search for the Zeo Crystal, then Alien Rangers, they became kids, had to find their subcrystals, and in Zeo, in that first episode, the Zeo Crystal actually bonded to each of the Rangers, something that never happened to this new Turbo team. So when this new Turbo team needed powers of their own, they had to get new ones from space. The Zeonizers are like power morphers in a way. They are an external device that taps into an energy source to make a suit. So like how power morphers use the power coins, the Zeonizers use a part of the Zeo Crystal that connected to each of the Rangers. So as we know, the Zeo Powers were never really destroyed, neither was the Zeo Crystal. We saw Tommy morph into Zeo Red in Forever Red and Dimensions in Danger. We would also see the whole Zeo team show up in Legendary Battle. And I guess this is why Adam never used his green Zeo Powers when he returned one season later in Power Rangers in Space. His Zeonizer was still destroyed at that point, so there was no way to tap into the Zeo Crystal. The only member of the original Zeo team that hadn't had their Zeonizer destroyed would have to be Rocky, who got injured early on in Turbo Power Rangers movie, to get replaced by Justin, the little kid. So who knows if after high school, Rocky went on his own adventures as the Blue Zeo Ranger, and maybe when the other Rangers switched teams to the new Turbo team, they joined Rocky and became Zeo Rangers once again, fighting battles in space. Not in space, Power Rangers in space, they just went to space, or wherever. Honestly, since the Zeo Crystal had fragments in all the Zeonizers, it limits its own power. So once the Zeonizers are dead, there's no way to tap back into the power, unless the Zeonizers were fixed. The Turbo Powers are different and are a power source of their own. They're independent and they're waterproof, which I guess is the point of this whole video. Turbo Powers are waterproof, Zeo Powers are not. Thanks for watching. What do you guys think about this mystery? Do you have your own theories on what happened to the Zeo Powers? Give me your better explanation in the comments down below. I'll be reading them. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, DonFuego. I'm also on Instagram, NotDonFuego. E-Squad, I love you to death. Have a great morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.